This is Disney World. From flashing light to whatever the hell this thing is, it's clear there's technology everywhere. But what are some of the uses of technology that are less obvious? I've got a fun one. How about tracking you? So, why does Disney track you? How does it work? And what do they do with your data? Great questions. But first, let's take a quick look around. There, computer, zoom. Enhance. Got it.
These are Magicbands, and they were part of a $1 billion investment by Disney into a system called My Magic Plus. My Magic Plus is an umbrella term for a collection of technologies aimed at creating a streamlined and convenient experience for visitors to Walt Disney World in Florida. Depending on how you slice it, My Magic Plus consists of three main parts. First, you have Disney's app, then you have the actual physical infrastructure, and finally, the Magicbands themselves, which are now in their third iteration. So, what does the system actually do? Magicbands in particular. Well, there are two sides to this. What it does for guests, and what it does for Disney. Let's start with the guest experience, because that's what Disney wants you to notice. I talked to a few people across the parks to see what they considered when buying their own bands, and what they found the most useful once they actually got them. As I expected, most people decided to get the Magicbands for the ease and convenience, whether they were park regulars or first-time visitors.
I think we both set fall for ease, for getting into parks, for lightning lanes, not having to drag my phone around, that sort of thing.
Of course, Magicband functionality doesn't stop at being glorified park cards. Guests of Disney resorts can use them as room keys, or even to make purchases at some locations. When linked with the My Disney Experience app, they can be used to collect PhotoPass photos, and finally, the newest Magicbands can interact with some rides, events, and even locations around the parks, with certain areas having games built into them. So, out of all these features, what do people actually use? From my interviews, people seemed to mainly value things that streamline their experience.
Photos for you?
Yeah.
You take the picture, they sync to it, and then it appears in the app so you can see all your pictures.
Conversely, features that required guests to go out of their way to use were generally disregarded, whether this was the Bounty Hunter game at Galaxy's Edge or the 50th anniversary statue scattered across the parks. So that's Magicbands from a guest perspective, but let's take a look at the flip side of what Disney gets from this system. Another question I asked people when I was interviewing them was what Disney gets back, and most answered somewhat along the lines of this.
They wouldn't offer it if they didn't think people would use it.
But one person actually hit the nail right on the head by guessing they probably track you. So how does that work? How do they track you? Well, Magicbands use a combination of long-range RFID and short-range NFC technology to interface with sensors and transmitters located throughout the park. The Magicband Plus also has Bluetooth to connect to mobile devices, accelerometer, and some small LEDs, and, a little buzzer motor to provide feedback. Here's the insides and all the parts labeled. Magicbands and their network of sensors along the My Disney Experience app are gold mines for data and tracking in the parks. Of course, Disney hasn't told us what they track, so everything from here is speculation. Informed speculation, but speculation nevertheless. So here are the three main things that I think Disney is tracking: the locations, attractions, and activity of their guests. Let's start with the simplest first: location. With all the sensors Disney likely has around their parks, it's probably not a huge stretch to say they could track a Magicband. Combining that with the location data from their mobile app and machine learning-based tracking systems, Disney has a veritable goldmine to track the movements of a single guest or entire crowds, probably looking something like this. There's also very good evidence that Disney tracks the rides you go on too, whether that's PhotoPass linking or functionality from Disney Play app. It's pretty obvious, and of course if you use Lightning Lane, it would be impossible for them not to know what rides you're on. Last but not least is activity, which is more of a general catch-all for everything from shows you go to, cast members you interact with, and even purchases you make at stores within the parks. And that's all of them. Well, all the ones I think it would be. Now, why would Disney want all this data in the first place? I mean, I guess they could use purchases for advertising, but, what else? Well, Disney World averages over 150 visitors daily, which means there's a lot of crowds. To deal with this, crowd data from thousands of guests is fed into predictive algorithms. These can be used to dynamically move cast members, compensate for crowd flow, and maintain a smooth and streamlined experience for guests. For long-term use, it turns out a ton of data on which park areas people actually spend time in is super useful. Disney can use this data to predict when rides and walkways might need maintenance from wear and tear, and visiting data likely also plays a role in decisions about when attractions need to be refreshed, replaced, or even removed. It could also provide insight on where new attractions, pathways, or stores could be built to maximize visitors and minimize crowds. And that's it. That's how Disney tracks you. Anyways, huge thanks to my interviewees, especially the ones who allowed me to film them. And thanks to our teachers for letting us go on this learning experience. That's all for this video. I'm Finn Hofbauer. So long for now.